What's up, guys? Welcome back to GoldClassGaming. I am back with my new ABC deck profile for this new format. As you all know, Buster went to 2. Also, it's been like 3 months since my last ABC deck profile. Things have changed. You know, the meta has changed a lot since then. You know, what's good, what's not, how you think ABC should approach the meta. Also, we've also got some new cards, which are pretty cool that I've been messing with. But yeah, so this is my new format, ABC deck profile. Buster's at 2. I've been testing literally like all week. I went from literally not opening Dueling Book at all. Like I had probably opened Dueling Book like 3 times in the past 3 months. I went from that to having Dueling Book open for like 7 hours a day every day, just testing and playing rated and theorying, playing solo mode, doing combos, test hands, you know, working it out in my head. But I've settled on a list. I've been testing. It's been doing really well. I like it. It's good versus the meta. It's good going first. It's good going second. You know, it's good versus combos. It's good versus back row. Like you have options. It's great. But yeah, so that's what I've been working with. I think this is definitely the like one of them like probably one of the best ways to play this deck competitively. You know, play this way, or play whatever Pierre 555 is playing on Dueling Book. That guy's like number 10 on rated playing ABC. He's nuts. He's in the ABC Discord server. I talked to him a bunch. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna hop right into this deck profile so I can start breaking it down for you guys. All right, as you can see here, 40 card list. As you can see, there are some Dogmatica cards in here. Yeah, but I'll get to those. I'll also explain some more choices I made about the deck and why I pick certain things. But obviously, we're going to start off with 3A, 3B, and 2C. Obviously, you need your 3As to combo, 3A and 3B, because those two combo off with your unauthorized reactivation. So obviously, you want to max out on those to maximize how much you're able to just combo with reactivation. It's a blatant consistency question. You know, the more you play, the more consistent you are. Done. C does not combo with reactivation, so 3 is not mandatory. And since I need room for other stuff, I end up cutting 1C. The same logic applies to Galaxy Soldier of you only need 2, and you can play 3 if you want, but I would rather use that slot for something else, so I end up cutting it to 2. But yeah, so 3A, 3B, 2C. Next up, we have our 2 copies of the Galaxy Soldier, and our 1 copy of Photon Orbital. Standard stuff. This stuff, you guys should recognize this stuff as part of ABC decks now. You know, Carrier, Equip Orbital, Detached Orbital, Search Galaxy Soldier. That's a free infinity. Just pluses all around. Makes Hanger into a 1-card double disruption. You know, it's solid. They have 2 copies of Union Driver. This card, you always need one of it. People say, oh, play one. I'm like, yeah. Well, you literally need this card in your deck to combo. Because, obviously with Union Driver existing, people build ABC decks around Hanger being a 1-card combo. So people aren't playing as many like raw extenders anymore, and I agree, you shouldn't. You don't have to play as many extenders anymore because Hanger does it all now. But for Hanger to do it all, you need a copy of Driver in your deck. And here's the thing, and so I say playing 2 because here's some quick math for you. If you play 1 Driver, you will open your only copy of Driver, 1 out of every 10 games. If you play 2 Drivers, then the odds of you drawing all copies of Driver are like 1 out of 100 games. So it's 1 extra card, and it makes the odds of auto losing because you drew all your Drivers 10 times less. That's hard to argue with. I'm not gonna go against that. But yeah, let's talk. Obviously, going to talk a little more about the Dogmatic cards. 3 Ecclesia, 1 Fleur, 1 Maximus. And obviously, 3. You can see that there's 3 Nadir there. I'll get to that in a sec. The reason why I picked to play Dogmatica cards is because they special summon themselves for free when you control a monster that's special out of the extra deck. Which means after you do your normal board of Buster Infinity, you can just special them for free and start getting extra interruptions off of them. Basically, so basically I have three criteria for like engines to play an ABC. So like one, does it complement ABCs? Like, does this help? Does this go mesh with ABC well? And does adding this engine help ABC do better? It's a good answer is yes. Does the engine work solo? The answer to this is yes. If you don't draw your ABC stuff, but you draw like a Glacia or like Nadir, you can still do like Dogmatica stuff and end on like 2 or 3 interruptions to help you try and survive for a turn while you try and draw that next copy of Unihanger for turn, hopefully next turn. So like generally, because of those two things, my cat's on my desk now. He's going behind my monitor. But yeah, so obviously because of those criteria, I thought that Dogmatic would be a really good fit for ABC. And after some testing, I was right. Like you get to it basically just lets you add on an extra like 2 or 3 disruptions onto your end board, which turns your end board from like 2 disruptions to 5, possibly like 6 or 7, depending on how good your hand is. And it really makes your go first board more powerful. Because the reality is, in this meta, like versus like combo decks, like versus like Infernoble and like especially versus like Dragon Link, two disruptions just does not do much against them. You see replays of them like comboing through like Nibiru and Impermanence. So I feel like I just needed more power to stop them. Obviously for hand traps, playing 3 Ash and 3 Impermanence, standard hand best. Like I think there's like the best hand traps. So I'm just playing 3 of them, pretty standard stuff. But also 3 copies of Seravis, the Ancient and Ascended. Now, if you don't know this card, I don't blame you. But let me break it down for you. This card has an effect in hand. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, you can discard it and negate the activation. This is a quick effect, obviously. So, in simpler terms, that means if your opponent tries to use Infinite Impermanence or Effect Failure on your, like Union Carrier or your Galaxy Soldier, you can discard Seravis and negate it. It's like Call by the Grave, except not limited. Called went to 1. I had to find some kind of like replacements for it. Like I had to try and find something, and then this was my answer. I like this better than Triple Tactics Talent because, in testing, Tactics was just not that useful to me. Again, this can negate any effect that targets your monsters. So not just Impermanent Veiler, but it can negate like Dogmatica Punishment. I'm struggling to think of an effect that targets a monster. You get the point. Your opponent tries to target your monster with a card or effect, just negate it. It's that simple, That's gonna come up like a lot. But yeah. So that's one of my hand traps, and then I think that rounds out all of our monsters. But yeah, so we'll go on to our spells. Obviously, I have 3 copies of Unihanger, or one copy of Terraforming, and I'm also adding in a copy of Set Rotation, and then as my Set Rotation target, playing Secret Village of the Spellcasters. I was testing other stuff in the slot, like Missing Mine. Thought it was terrible. But villages. So all of your Dogmatic cards are spellcasters, which means if you just happen to just draw this card with your Dogmatica stuff, cool. You now have Imperial Order, and that's cool. I like Imperial Order when I have it, but also so obviously part of this is since I'm playing it with Set Rotation, I'm planning on giving it to my opponent, and I couldn't think of a good time where this would hurt me more than like Mystic Mine would, Like if my opponent controls no spellcasters and they activate this, they can't play spells anymore. Which means versus Dragon Link, they'll just never activate this because they can't because of the way rotation works. You can't activate new field spells until both of the ones that were set by Set Rotation have been activated. Which means if you're playing against like Dragon Link, they won't activate Village because they have no spellcasters and will by extent lock themselves out of spell cards. At the same time, they will need to activate it to even try to activate their own like boot sector launch or a quick launch or smoke grenade and stuff. So it's kind of a lose-lose for them. Like the only time your opponent will be able to get value out of Village is if they're playing like Invoked. But like even then, it's rough because like they can't activate like Magical Meltdown over Village without normaling Alistair first. So it's still kind of an inconvenience for them because like they'll need to flip Village before they can activate Meltdown. But then they'll also need like normal Alistair to activate Meltdown, or like normal Ecclesia. But if they do that, they'll lock themselves out of the extra deck. So it's kind of a really bad lose for everyone. Like there's really no good time where your opponent can make use of this against you. So I thought it was just sick. Yeah, moving on. 3 copies of unauthorized reactivation. I was talking about it earlier. Cards like 3 copies of like bonus hanger. I'm fine with it. And I also need 3 copies of Nadir Servant. This card just searches your Ecclesia. It's good. It's really good. It's a really good card. Trust me. Yeah, it's just consistency. Like it's just it's so free. You send a card from extra graveyard, search Ecclesia, plus 5 disruptions, easy. Then for our last card in the deck is Dogmatic Punishment. This is just part of the disruptions that you're going to be searching with your Dogmatica engine. This card obviously pops a card in the field, but also you have to send a card from your extra deck to the graveyard to use it. So obviously you can just send something like Elder Entity Natis, and then in the graveyard will activate and then pop something else. So punishment, send Natis, pop something. Affecting grave of Natis, pop something else. That's 2 pops, free. Yeah, so that's it for the main deck. 40 cards, that easy. And let's head on to our extra deck. Two copies of Buster. He's at 2 now. I'm playing 2. 2 copies of Natis. Just talking about Natis. When this card is sent to the graveyard, it pops a card in the field. Not once per turn, by the way. I'm playing 2 because I just use it a lot. You're always going to be using one of them off punishment. Which I played a second one to have like utility. It meant I could like send one. For example, if I was going second, I could send a Natis off of Nadir to pop something, and then still have a second Natis in my extra deck to send off punishment to get that second punishment pop. So it lets me use Natis as like a general utility card without also compromising the potency of my Dogmatic Punishment. Next up, you have Titanic Clive the Ash Dragon. This is just your Dogmatic Searcher. Normal combo is Nadir, send this guy, add Ecclesia, special, add punishment, set punishment during the end phase. This guy adds floor to your hand. Boom, that's a negate for free. Like this is like your standard card. You need to play this. Then I have 3 synchro monsters, which all do stuff in the graveyard. Herald of the Arclight. This card searches a ritual monster. Guess what? We can just add Seravis to our hand. And keep in mind, Seravis works on our opponent's turn, So we just, if we can send this card off of like Maximus or something, or like, send it off like Maximus on our own turn, search Seravis. Now we have a Seravis in hand to negate anything our opponent has that might target our stuff. Maybe they'll try to use Infinite Impermanence on their main phase to negate Infinity. That's fine. It's Seravis. Maybe they'll use, Panquatrap. Panquatraps to pop something. That's fine. Seravis. Maybe they use Mind Control. It's fine. Seravis. It does everything, and I can search it if I want to. Omega. With his cards in the graveyard, you can just shuffle something back into the deck. And, you can shuffle this guy and also 1 card in grave back into the deck. It helps you recycle busters. It helps you recycle punishments. It helps you recycle literally anything you need. Like you can even put back like your stuff like Natis and stuff, and then use it again. So like I've had games in testing where I've used both of my Natis stuff, and then I'll use Omega to put back itself and a Natis, so I can activate Nadir and send Natis again, and then pop for a third time. It's great. When Pegasus at Ignister, if this card is on the field or in the graveyard, when one of your cards is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls and shuffle it back into the deck, I believe. Yeah, shuffle it into the deck. Cool. It's blatant, just like protect. It's not like protection, much as like counter. Like I'm saying, you put it in graveyard with you put it in grave with like Nadir or like Maximus, and then like you just use all your stuff on board to like out their stuff, and then suddenly, oh, your opponent managed to kill Infinity. That's fine. I'm just gonna use the effect of Wind Pegasus and shuffle one of your cards back into the deck. Have fun with that. So it's all free. You can see that the theme here is cards that do stuff in the graveyard, because I'm going to be sending a lot of them. And then for our Xyz monsters, Nova and Fairy, standard stuff. You're playing that package. Emerald. I'm still choosing to play Emerald because one, I still don't have 3 busters, and I want to have at least 3 busters. So Emerald can put back both of my busters and give me 4 busters, but also circling back to I can shuffle back anything I want. I can shuffle back all of this stuff. I can shuffle back all of my graveyard food, and use it again. I can Emerald can put back one buster and double Natis, and then I can just send them again off of Maximus and just keep doing stuff. It's really great. It helps in the grind game. Like, you want Emerald in the grind game because it just helps you just recycle all of your resources. You can just go much longer with Emerald than your opponent can. Then onto our Link monsters. Access Code Talker. This card's good. This is like the best the best Link 4 in the game right now. That's legal. Play it, please. Barricade Board Blocker, Masquerena, and Carrier. Obviously, Carrier standard, so we're good. And then Masquerena and Blocker. I needed 2 more Link 2s here, and I wanted them to be the same, or I wanted them to be different attributes, so that when they were used, so that I would have a lot of different Masquerade's here. She's just good. She's very useful. You make her and then make access code on your opponent's turn. Good. Blocker's here because I needed a Link 2 that I could make with 2 pieces that I could then use to make Union Carrier, and I also needed it to be a different attribute from Carrier because I wanted to have multiple attributes for Access Code Talker, which meant my options were like Clifford Genius or Barricade Board Blocker, and I thought Blocker just seemed better, so I picked that one. But yeah, so that is the entire extra deck. Pretty I'd say standard. It's like you have all your standard stuff in there, but also like a lot of interesting stuff to help play off your Dogmatica stuff. And then onto a side deck. This has changed around a bit, but triple Nibiru, free. Versus combo, this is like your best hand trap to have. Double Cosmic Cyclone, and also the one Harpy's Feather Duster, because backer decks are fun and they should die. I don't know. It's just such blowouts versus them. Dark Blue No More for combo boards. Also Dragoon. Worth mentioning, the negate from Fluor does not target, which means this card can negate Dragoon. So you just special this card and then negate it Dragoon, and then Buster can just banish it. That's incredible. So free. So this card is just good for going second versus combo boards or going second versus Dragoon. Lightning Storm. This card is good for going second against combo boards and also backer decks, because once again it's just a blowout. You see a theme here? It's just cards that are really good are just blowouts for going second versus combo or back row. And then And then for like game 2s and 3s where like I know I'm gonna go first, Judgment. You know, like if you know you're gonna go first, you just side out like the Ash Blossoms and stuff for Judgment, and then you just can just get like extra blowouts, you know? Like you do full combo, like Hanger plus Nadir, like you do that full combo plus Judgment, they auto lose. They aren't gonna play through 5 disruptions plus Solemn Judgment. You know, like it's an insta win. But yeah, so that's kind of the whole gist of the deck. You know, so like that's about everything. 40 cards in the main, 15 extra, 15 side. Do you guys have any questions about this deck? Sure, could ask them in the comments down below. Do you guys want to see some combos for the deck? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and then also hit subscribe if you want to see more of my content, including some other deck profiles coming next week. Other than that, I would like to thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.